Greetings and welcome, everyone. It's All You Can Geek Gamecast, episode 376. I'm one of your hosts, Jim Gast, joined by Corey Feinside.
Happy New Year!
And Tony Korkanakis.
We're gonna fuck 2018 in the ass, guys. Just no holds barred. Like, no, I'm done. I'm done.
Jesus.
2017 was a shit show, and I'm not even giving 2018 the
Well,
chance.
I thought you were saying 2017 was good. It gave you Breath of the Wild, it gave you Mario,
Oh, yeah,
the
yeah.
Switch. We're in games,
very
man.
good
It's
game-wise.
games.
I have to agree with Tony, though. It was a shitty year overall with events. So, like,
Yeah, no,
it's been a
not
busy
games.
year.
I'm just talking about like
Personal
the year
things
in
in
general,
general.
world politics,
Yeah.
like fuck 2017, and I'm not giving 2018 the opportunity. Just gonna,
This
do
is
it
going to
now.
be, for those wondering, this will be our most anticipated game of 2018. Will be in this podcast, so we'll talk about that. We're going to go over a couple games coming out. We have a little bit of news here. What were we talking about before we even started this thing? Destiny 2 got rebooted once.
Destiny 2 got rebooted just like Destiny 1 did. So basically, history repeating itself. So apparently, Jason Schreier, who breaks all the Destiny news for Kotaku, he's basically the guy. When he publishes something, it's usually pretty accurate. And we all talked about his book a little bit, which we'll hear more about some more. Mm-hmm. But apparently, Destiny 2 was rebooted in 2016. That was like just under 2 years ago, basically, because we're only 3 days into 2018. And when you think about that, that is ridiculous, because Destiny 1 had the same problem where they had a year to make that game work. And now you're saying you got a guy coming in late and making a game within a year. Like, they delayed. We know they delayed it because it was supposed to come out, and then we got Rise of Iron instead. So we had a whole year where they just basically remade the game.
That's
so like we don't know like why, what are they doing? Like,
I don't know.
Come on, Bungie.
I don't think they
like,
know.
You had all this pedigree.
We read the book where they just they don't sound like they know what they're doing. To be honest with you,
I could totally understand, at first with Destiny 1 that there's a lot of growing pains because they're doing something new.
Something that they've never done before. Yeah, they kind of fell into a nice niche there, or nice rhythm with the Halo series.
Halo.
They know what they expect. They know what they can do. Now it's completely different.
Yeah.
But then, like, you take all the top brass, like the major names of Halo, and you basically just kick them out the door, and say, nope, we don't like any of this. We're gonna start over with these other guys.
Yeah.
And then we'll take these puzzle pieces, like, we'll put something here, put this here, and put that there. Hey, we got a game. And now, like, you take those lessons and you don't learn from them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's disappointing because, I mean, I tried Destiny 1. I gave it a fair shot. Vanilla, complete vanilla. And I was like, whatever, guys. Like, this wasn't for me. Apparently got
Anybody
better.
who played Halo tried Destiny 1.
Right, exactly.
It's like one of the best-selling games of that year, and it sold great. But it fell flat for a lot of people because it felt like a game that was just thrown together. You didn't think that they knew what they were doing. And then with Taken King, it seemed like, hey, we figured it out. We know what we're going to be doing here. And the game was amazing after that.
Yeah.
One of my favorite games, obviously.
Yeah. While listening to Jason Schreier's audiobook of Blood, Sweat, and Pixels, they were talking about how Peter Dinklage, like how he was received, and the whole infamous, that wizard came from the moon, kind of thing, and how originally, the script had him playing off of other characters and stuff, which I didn't know until this book.
Yeah, the book actually shed some cool light on that. Actually.
Yeah, it's like, holy shit! Like, as an actor, and as like a prestigious actor, when you sign up for something, you're like, okay, yeah, I can work with other people, but then be like, yeah, you're just gonna read these lines and have nobody to bounce off of, no other thing. You're just like, you're the only person here. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, how did Peter Dinklage just not go, what? What do you guys? What? Like, are you for real? Like, are you serious? And just refuse to do it. And the fact that they were just like, yeah, you know what? We're gonna scrap it completely and just have a new guy in Nolan North, right?
Nolan North.
Yeah.
Oh God, that fucking guy! It's way too much work.
Yeah,
but
he does.
yeah, but yeah, just like the development behind Destiny, it was sad. Listening to it, I was just, man, I felt bad for these guys, especially when they started out. How everybody was kind of getting antsy and tired of the Halo cycle and whatnot, and they wanted their independent freedom. And then, what's his name?
Jason Jones, Jason Statham, Mario O'Donnell.
Yeah, but the guy from Microsoft.
Howard Reiner.
What's his name?
Oh. I don't remember.
He came down and, basically...
Phil Spencer?
Not Phil Spencer.
Somebody else.
Basically, he came down and, got the whole company in an all-hands meeting. And they're like, yeah, you guys are going to be able to go off after 2 more games.
Is it
and,
Matrick?
the whole...
It wasn't Matrick then.
Was it Dean?
No, it was the other guy just before him. No, it
yeah,
wasn't.
whatever.
Oh, anyways, go
Yeah, whatever. But everybody was cheering, and he's like, "Man, I didn't think we treated you guys that badly." And he's like, "Well, good luck, but be careful what you wish for, because it's different being independent." And I feel like it totally just bit them in the ass.
Yeah, they were all the way like, "Oh shit!" Now it's like, what do we do? That's what first launched. Vanilla.
Well, the first thing they did though was sign a 10-year contract with a huge company again. It's like, wait a second, didn't you just not want this? So I don't know. They get to keep their IP and everything, but
that's what it is. The difference is they get to keep their IP and profit off of it, which we can see with all the microtransactions. And
but at the same time, you have your Activision overlords telling you need to, meet your contracts, and you signed the deal here, you have to fulfill this stuff.
Yeah, but honestly, I kind of wonder how tight that contract must be, because they renegotiated it, I think, twice.
They had to, because they delayed the first Destiny because they were remaking it, and then they had to do it again now, obviously, now when we learned that they remade the second one.
I kind of just wonder what Activision got out of the deal, in terms of renegotiation.
Well, honestly, they're making money because it's selling still. It's still a number selling game of this year, and Destiny 1 sold fantastically. And now with the ongoing, and they were saying they make more money in Eververse stuff than they did ever with the DLC.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. What else do we have in news? Anything else?
Not
really.
Nintendo Direct next week, unofficially.
Yeah. I know there's 30 game placeholders on Amazon.
By Amazon, two specifically, it seemed like the collector's editions that were on Amazon.
There's a ton of collector's editions on Amazon. It's ridiculous.
Well, so yeah, there's a couple games that are priced, $59.99. There were a couple that were I think $69.99, which is the price of a Pro controller. So a couple people are speculating on special editions of.
Didn't Nintendo say they weren't going to manufacture the 64 gig cart till 2019? They confirmed that?
Right.
Okay, so that was confirmed this week too. That was a bit of news.
Yeah. And then $99.99 is probably going to be super collector's editions of some games, stuff like that. But the interesting thing is that Amazon used the same exact placeholder images they used last year, right before the January Switch blowout, where we found out pretty much every game for the year, including Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
Which made it.
Which made it.
Yes,
which made it.
All right.
And it's doing very well.
All right, so let's get into what we've been up to then. Game-wise, Tony, you said I know you read Blood, Sweat, and Pixels, so you finished that up?
Yeah, so I finished that up. Just a couple things I wanted to talk about there. So, I'm trying to think. The big thing, because, the book literally ends on the whole 1313 story, and I gotta say, that
yeah,
depressing.
Yeah, isn't that
I feel so bad for those those
that
developers.
Line about this isn't we don't know what you think this is.
This isn't what you think it is.
Yeah, that line is just
what's happening is not happening.
Yeah, what you think is happening is not happening. But I just gotta feel so bad for those developers, because the guys at LucasArts obviously poured everything they had into that 1313 game and trying to get it to be something to get them back on the map, because let's be honest, LucasArts was not doing the greatest since the early 2000s. And that E3 demo just looked good.
Why is didn't you think to yourself why is it that they were hell-bent on tying in characters that we already know, and they're still like that? Why is it in Star Wars you can't build us an original game to play like Knights of the Old Republic was? That was well received, we all loved it. Why can't you build this? Why do you have to tie in Boba Fett instead? Why do you have to tie in that was throughout that whole story? They wanted to keep tying in characters.
Well, so part of that was George Lucas.
Yeah, but it's ridiculous that's, and we're still kind of getting that though now, not in games but in movies.
Right, but you think about how the Marvel deal was going, before Disney reacquired the Fox stuff. If you are Marvel and you are creating a video game or funding a video game like Marvel versus Capcom or something like that, why would you use money, not like use money, but like why would you waste opportunity promoting a character that you couldn't profit off of, like the X-Men or Fantastic Four? Yeah. Whereas if you promote somebody like Black Widow or Black Panther or Ant-Man,
hey, let's get Doctor Strange in there instead of Magneto. They look the same.
Yeah. Right, exactly. Like, yeah, they have the same dash. Like, go ahead. Functionally, they're the same. So from the business side, yeah, I get it. I understand it. And kind of like that is probably one of the unfortunate things of the Disney takeover of the Star Wars franchise is that they want mega bucks. They want something that is going to sell, merchandise, like movie tickets, movie copies, toys, whatever, Lego sets, all that stuff. And it's going to be a lot harder there's a lower ceiling on something where it's like, hey, this is a brand new dude, Dash Rendar, complete broke ass Han Solo, buy his book. It's like, sure, okay, I bought that book, but I mean, how many people did? Whereas if that was just a Han Solo game, I mean, who knows how much that ceiling would have been. So I get it. I'm not happy with it, but I get it.
Yeah.
But like, there's just a story that these guys went through, and I'm sorry, I just use the term guys because I'm from Pennsylvania. It's not like a sex age. When I say guys, it's everybody, not just men. So I apologize for that. But when they were just going along, and like every time they're like, yeah, we're progressing, and then George Lucas is like, yeah, let's make this game about Boba Fett. And I'm like, what? We can't do that. Like, we're like 6 to 8 months deep in this shit right now. We have like levels
functionally change everything.
Yeah, the story, this and the other.
Basically be starting over.
Yeah, and they're like, can we just have him like as a guest character or something like that, like as an NPC? And George's like, no. It's like, so they had to deal with that kind of bullshit, and then finally they're like, okay, they do it, and then all of a sudden there's like a hiring freeze, and it's like, we're going in full production. We need to be mass hiring. Like, this is not normal.
We need to ramp up our staff, not stay still.
Right, and then just to get like, and the way the book made it seem, which I can totally believe, is they found out that the parent company was being sold because George Lucas was doing that interview or the press statement, on a television show or something like that. It's like, yeah, I'm selling Star Wars, blah blah blah. It's like, oh no. It's like, I have a bad feeling about this, like, just wave of that. And then not only that, but like when Disney kind of like just let them go along for a couple months, not knowing, it's like, well, shit, all right. And then they got the news, like, yep, you guys, we're looking elsewhere. So then they go to, EA. The head of EA was like, well, hold on, we got Visceral Games. Maybe they like it. We can have them, team up with you guys, or you guys can, acquiesce into them and finish off the game. And they go there, try to make their pitch, and they're like, oh, we don't know what you heard, but this isn't what you think it is. We're just giving you guys the opportunity to interview with us if you want to jump on our team to make our Star Wars game. Like, that's got to be so heartbreaking and humiliating. Mm-hmm. I mean, in the book, I think Jason said that like a lot of people just like left, like when they heard that, just like left. Other people stuck around for the years. But then you got to feel that some of those people did stay to make the next Star Wars game, and then fucking this year EA shuts down that studio. So it's just like,
I think I'm having deja vu. Did we talk about this last week?
No, I don't think so. But
did we?
No,
I feel like
we talked about Visceral getting shut down, but not about 1313 directly.
Okay,
so.
I don't know. I just feel like I was like, wait, whoa, I'm having a little deja vu here. So.
But it's a sad story, and one thing that I was thinking about, I saw this random comment, just because like all the Star Wars news, like, I've been watching and reading and stuff like that. Somebody left like, I think a YouTube or a Twitter comment that just like made me laugh literally out loud. He goes, when you think about it, Anakin Skywalker was a slave his whole life. He was a slave to that dude on Tatooine. Then he was a slave to the Jedi and the Jedi Code. And then he was a slave to Emperor Palpatine. And only in that last moment, freed, by his son, was he actually free. And I'm just like, yo, like, we're like so deep right now. Like, that's like metaphysical, like, whoa, that's deep, But it kind of felt like the end of this book was just like, yo.
Yeah.
that like 1330 was just doomed, and it's really sad because I like how one part of the book they're like, yeah, some employees even stole like development units and like anything that gets salvaged onto hard drives and whatnot because they're just like, yeah, I mean, fuck it, Disney doesn't need this shit. Like they're not doing their own internal game, so blow that off. So that's one thing I want to talk about the book, and then the other thing is literally every game that they talked about is like a AAA title, from like Destiny to Uncharted, Dragon Age. Every single one of those AAA things, every time they mention, oh yeah, so they had to do that E3 demo, and that wasn't representative of the final game. Every single one of those games had that line in it.
Oh yeah.
So this is why, fuck E3 demos. And I hope after reading this book, you could finally understand.
I'm much more skeptical about the whole thing. Yeah, I'm much more skeptical about it. Yeah.
My good.
Yeah. I mean, we have a bet, you and I. I fully expect to lose this bet.
Which one?
Metroid and I fully expect to lose this bet. Like, absolutely.
Oh, did you guys just real quick on some speaking of like things coming out sooner than later? Bayonetta 3 is supposed to come out this year.
Is it?
Did they confirm
18?
Apparently on Reddit, some guy said he's had a source, and then like they vetted him saying, "Oh yeah, it seems pretty legit." He's like, barring like a major catastrophe, you will see Bayonetta 3 this year.
Cool.
Yeah,
awesome.
I could see that because just with
the re-releases coming out too is like good timing to kind of get the hype going.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, it's just Bayonetta 2 was just one of those unfortunate things where it's tied to a failing system. I mean, I think Bayonetta 2, the year it was released, I want to say it was 2014. Was like I'm pretty sure it was the highest, if not one of the highest rated Metacritic games of that year, but didn't do well like commercially and even critically. Like at Game of the Year awards, like nobody really gave it to that game because it's like, we can't really give it to this Bayonetta game and be like, yeah, hey, on the magazine covers and stuff like that. It's like, give it to this like essentially stripping lady and stuff like that. It's like, what else came out this year? Oh, Dragon Age Inquisition, perfect. Give it to that game. Fuck that. But yeah, I could totally see it. They probably work on it essentially too with the character being so popular from the Smash Brothers DLC.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure Nintendo views it as like an unofficial Nintendo character at this point.
I kind of think they need to have a big game announcement also. Like I fully expect something major in this Direct coming up, just because they're projecting like 20 million units this year. Like, how do you sell those without something major? So like either a Smash Brothers or a Pokemon, something like I know they've been announced, but like something more.
I'm personally speculating we're going to see Animal Crossing just because they released that mobile title, and just kind of like how Pokemon Go like really
Fire Emblem even could be.
Fire Emblem, we're having that this year.
I hope so. Actually, like that. I mean, we don't have the Direct yet, so I'm like our most anticipated are games that we know are like possibly coming out this year. But like I don't know if that's coming, so I'm not going to put it on the list. You know what I mean? I'm not saying.
Yeah, you can't assume. Especially with video games.
No, absolutely. Yeah. But no, the Direct next week should be pretty.
Yeah, I mean this. Again, we're getting into most anticipated. It's like these stipulations because it could change next week.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, hey, we're excited for this game. Delayed to 2019. Oh,
oh hey, Psychonauts. Bye.
Yeah. That's by the way, that's the first game to get delayed into 2019 already. So, Corey, play wise, Tony, are you good? I mean, what else?
What have I been up to? More Xenoblade Chronicles.
Nice.
About 20 hours in, and I finally unlocked that last thing in the menu that I was talking to them. Yeah, 20 hours. It's like, hey, we're gonna unlock this new thing for you. I was like, are you serious? Like, it's 20 hours in, man. Like, what are you trying to teach me at this point? What do I have to learn?
Yeah.
But it was also a moment where I finally figured out the combat system.
20 hours in it took you to figure out the combat? I don't know if this game's for me.
I mean, I'm trying to think of how to describe it, because there's certain things that I personally expected, because that's how the previous Xenoblade games works. And then they're like, oh yeah, they talked about it in this game. They're like, oh yeah, you'll be able to do these attacks later on. I'm like, okay, great. And then like they're like, oh, you press this button. I'm pressing this button. I'm like, why isn't it working? Like pressing this button. And I'm like, okay, like restart my Switch, just like, blah blah blah, this and the other thing. Make sure I don't have to learn a skill in the tree. Couldn't figure it out. So I finally like went on Reddit or Gamecast or whatever, and they're like, yeah, like it's tied to the story. You don't actually get this team up ability until like a certain part in chapter or whatever. I'm like, yo, like. How are you gonna do this to me? I've been like racking my brain over like how dumb I must be because I can't do this stupid ability that I know is in this game, and it's tied to the story. So I was like, okay, but you know, now that I unlocked it and everything, I'm like, okay, everything is making so much more sense now. Like, it's finally coming together. But I was like, oh man, 20 hours. Like, okay, all right, whatever. To be fair, you don't really need it. You don't really need it.
Yeah. All right. Corey? Anything else, Tony? I'm sorry. There's more? Oh, it's a week off, so possibly. I mean, I played 20 hours, put 20 hours into a game as well. Nier. Played and finished Nier. All the way, all the endings, except for the joke endings and the deserting the battlefield ending. I got the P ending, which is the detonation of your bomb, to keep it vague, accidentally. So nobody has any idea what I'm talking about, I hope. If you haven't played the game, I'll keep it vague, but I should have gotten the ending, but I got stuck. So... that's all. Keep it vague.
Hey, it's not as bad as mine. It was not as bad as my self-destruct.
It was fucking frustrating. Like, because I knew that I shouldn't be where I was, and I couldn't get out because of the glitching that goes on. Like, you can't get out. Like,
all right, I understand that, but like, you just had to restart, right? You had to restart that port. Or
well,
what?
I didn't because I kept trying. So I went all the way up to 100% and died. You know how long that takes when you're just not moving towards the goal?
Oh,
it takes a long fucking time. It took me about 45 minutes of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I lost like 2 hours of gameplay because I self-destructed in the ending credit sequence. Yeah, I told you that. I was like,
I heard about that and I didn't do it because I'm like, oh, okay, good. I'm glad I didn't do that. But so the multiple ending thing was cool. I really like this. I actually like the story. It's a little predictable for me, but I thought it was good overall. Like I thought the final twist was really good. I mean, I understand, like, for the most part, there are, like, tropes and stuff that... Like, the main
but,
part
like,
of that twist...
the twists near the end, I was just like, oh.
Oh, sure,
I was
but, No, I had the whole feeling of the one part, but the major twist in my mind, I had that whole vibe from it. I was hoping I wouldn't be right. That's what I was hoping. That's why I sent you the message, like, is this really what this is? If this was what's going on, this would be fucked up. But I thought the music in that game was fantastic. I actually loved the combat in that game, too. I didn't get bored at all during combat in that game.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting, because...
Well, like, I easy moded the hacking.
Oh, no, absolutely. I 100% agree with that.
Yeah.
But the reason I even set it to easy mode on the second playthrough is because it's like, the combat was serviceable. Like, it's not bad.
I loved it. I really loved it.
But, like, I'm comparing it to, like, Bayonetta.
Oh, sure.
And
but it's not. It's an RPG.
And even Transformers.
But it's
not
RPG.
like the same.
It's not like that an action game.
It's
still got
I know.
That's the slowdown there. You know, you can't just kill an enemy in 3 hits. You have to, like, swing at it for, like, 30 minutes. So it's kind of reminded me of Destiny a little bit, Corey, in that situation. But it was really action-based, at least. So, but I really liked the game. I'm glad I played it. It's probably not my candidate of the year, but it's really good. So, Corey, what have you been up to?
Not really much. I got into the Gungeon on Switch, and
nice.
And I got Steam World Dig 2 on Switch. Cool. So I just dabbled. Haven't really delved into anything yet.
All right, let's get into our most anticipated. This way, we're not going to go month to month, I don't think, on this one because of all the releases. But I'm just going to go through like a list in no particular order. I'm going to list some games that I'm looking forward to. First one being Dragonball FighterZ. I think that's
only a few weeks away.
Yeah, and that's coming up quick. That's why I wanted to mention it right now. I mean, like, that game looks amazing. What we played of it was fun. It was fluid. It's fast. Really looking forward to that game. Does that make all of our anticipated? Or Corey, not really?
Probably. I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I don't know.
I'm getting it too.
Thing is, like... I feel like just waiting for a Switch version. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's gonna come. It's going.
No, it has. Dude, Xenoverse 2 on the Switch did phenomenally. It's like it caught up to the sales of the PS4 version in Japan.
Nice.
So it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, and that's why I'm like, I'm 100% sure it's coming to Switch. So it's like I don't see myself playing it too much on a PS4,
That's fair.
So
Yeah, I mean, for me, a lot of these are PS4 games for me, except for like the next one I'm going to say is probably not coming next year, but I'm hoping, or this year I mean, but I'm hoping. Well, I'm not hoping. Anthem. I'm still excited for Anthem. I really am. I still am. I really hope.
Not this year, bro. Not this year.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it won't be this year, but it's on the list still. So
you want to make a bet?
no,
I'm thinking about it.
not a chance on this one. So
I'll take it, Tony.
Anthem releases in calendar 2018.
2018 calendar.
Okay, I'll take that bet.
Whoa.
Sure.
Not,
why not? Let's do. We don't
why
have
not?
that many bets.
I am looking forward to this game. I'm hoping it's good, but who knows? That's an anticipated game for me. I don't know why. I'm just, I don't know. I got psyched from hearing about it. I like the premise.
It's something to get excited for. It's a big AAA game. Like you gotta look into it.
I mean, there's an opportunity. I mean, EA could just force it out, but I'm really feeling that they got the burn from Andromeda and Battlefront 2, and they're just like, we can't afford another backlash.
No.
I can't afford another.
We can't afford not getting the game out.
Yeah, I think it's going to help it. I think it's going to help it. Tony, what's a game from you that you're looking forward to? Just random. No particular order for those listening.
Yeah, probably the Spider-Man game.
Yeah, that's on my list as well. Like for I listed like 5 games real quick, and that's a game that I'm thinking of like that. I hope makes it this year. Again,
it needs. If it doesn't make it this year,
see the thing with Sony, I think, is like they learned, and that's why they're giving no dates. Like we've learned that we can't give a date. It's always moving.
Yeah.
But I don't see their big 3 games that they've been showing the last couple of years not making this year. Like Days Gone, God of War, and Spider-Man are all coming out 2018.
Yeah, only one of them made my anticipated list. Like Days Gone for me just looks boring. I don't know why. It just does. So
I need to see more.
I'm not going to play God of War because I've never played the other ones really, but it doesn't look terrible. I just don't think I'm anticipating it.
I think God of War looks fantastic. Actually, I'm very excited. Plus the Viking theme is very cool. I like that. Yep, absolutely. Cool. For me, I was just going to shout out to Shadow of the Colossus being on PS4. I think that's a great opportunity for people who have not played that game to see it in all of its glory.
Yeah. I'll play it now. Amazing. Yeah, I will.
I did order the steelbook of it. Just I gotta have the steelbook.
Yeah. This is one of those things where I kind of wish I didn't play.
I know, right?
Because I played the PS3 version, and it was better than obviously the PS2 version, but still I was like, yeah, you could just tell that this game was too ambitious for the hardware at the time. It was held back, and the remake, I'm just like, okay, this looks really good, and it's clearly put a lot of time and effort into it. I'm just like,
It is one of those games you play it once and you don't need to play it again.
Right.
But it's
I'm gonna play it. I'm definitely because I haven't played it yet, so I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, for sure.
I think Shenmue 3 for me, if it actually makes
does that make 2018? Because that's the one that I have here that I'm like, I don't know.
I don't see how this comes out this year, guys.
It was just announced, I think, today that this game is coming in 2018 with
I know they said
more
that.
surprises, too.
But have they even showed the game?
No. Behind closed... It was actually at the shows, I think, but behind closed doors, right?
All these shows tech demo stuff. This is some of the things we're doing, and this is this other stuff that we're doing, but...
I don't see how it comes out, man. I really don't.
I think from those statements, though, I think we're getting an HD remix, without a doubt, from the first 2. Because he said with more special announcents. So,
yeah, absolutely expect
I don't know. I don't know if it's coming this year either. I that's highly suspect for me. So, we'll see. Tony, do you have another one?
I'll give you one.
Okay.
Red Dead 2.
Yes, that's my most anticipated game, actually. That is my most anticipated.
I think it's going to be interesting because it's going to be using, obviously, the GTA 5 ideas. And I think that could be interesting in Western as far as getting the online stuff going.
We all know my feelings on Grand Theft Auto 5. However, I really liked Red Dead Redemption, with the exception of the forced ending that they had for that game. That I felt like I could have gotten out of this situation. But that was my only gripe with that. That was my only gripe with that entire game. Was the fact that I could have gotten out of this situation. So I'm very much looking forward to this game if it actually makes it out again this year.
I think at this point it does, but we'll see. I mean,
I don't know.
It definitely does.
I'm highly suspect on that one.
I'm looking forward to Bloodstained.
Bloodstained's another one coming this year. Yep. That demo I played of it got me a little more excited for it, actually. I backed it, so it should be...
Yeah, I haven't seen much of it yet, but I also backed it. I don't know. I have not been too excited for it.
I never played these games, Tony, but No More Heroes. Do you think that makes it this year?
Yeah, I think it has a possibility, just because... what's his name? What's his name now?
Suda?
Suda, yeah, Suda.
There it is. Well, I think it's like 54. What's the fucking...
Yeah, 51. Suda 51.
Yeah.
He did this interview where like it seemed like it was pretty far along and it was going to come out this year, and he's like, the budget's not going to be that high, but we're making the best of everything, and using the engines of today. Like I think it's an Unreal 4 game, so it's like, that's the bulk of the work, and a lot of it's collaboration with other indie companies for like the mini games and stuff like that. So that's fine. Looking forward to that if it is. No confirmation, but hopefully if it does, because Travis Touchdown is like one of my favorite characters. I don't know if you guys never played any of the No More Heroes.
I mean, I'm looking forward to it just from there's so much hype surrounding No More Heroes that I really look forward to playing this one. So
I'm just trying to think of the best way you can describe it. Like mechanically, like gameplay wise, it's even control wise, it's kind of jank. Like the first game was so janky, but it had just so much charm in like the world setting, the characters, the retro like mini game stuff, like all that was just oozing like spectacularly, that you kind of just played the game and just like went along with it. Like, yeah, okay, whatever. Like that character model is terrible looking, but I don't care. I'm killing it. So what do I care? So yeah, looking forward to that if again it comes out this year.
Last of Us Part 2.
That's not coming out this year.
Jeez, get out of here.
Supposed to be. It's still.
Who said it's supposed to be that?
2018.
Nobody said.
I think they said 2018 on the teaser, didn't they?
No way. No. Nobody said anything about that.
All right.
2018. Get the fuck out, Jim. Are you kidding me?
All right.
This is Sony. They show a game that comes out 3 years later.
I'm not saying I believe it. I'm just saying what's listed on these lists here I'm looking at. So,
whoever made that list is I'm not going to say. They're just... They should not be making those lists.
They're just hopeful people. Hopeful people. What else we have? What else you guys got? Tony?
I'm excited for this because I'm very curious to see what they are actually going to have. Like, what is this actually a game? And that's Sea of Thieves.
I knew it would make that list because like you want to see what happens with it, but I just don't see what is exciting for it. I got to watch more. Like they gave a whole like
absolutely one of those things where it's like you need to have like a group of people that get together every week or every couple days, whatever, to play the game together. Mm-hmm. I don't see it as a solo experience, but I look at it as like, oh, is this going to be like a social game similar to how Destiny is, where you can just like hang out with your friends and go pirating and finding treasure? That sounds like fun, but is there actually a game there? That's what I'm curious about.
Yeah, me too. I'm interested. I'm not anticipating.
I mean, to me, it visually looks really cool, I think. And the fact that you can go underwater, find sunken ships and loot them is pretty neat.
Yeah.
Actually, sink other people's ships are pretty cool. It sounds all the stuff is there. Just like where's the game though? Like
that's what
so much like a Minecraft type thing. Like you make the experience yourself.
Any interest? What?
I have doubts about that game.
Oh, yeah, obviously. I mean, we have doubts. That's because we don't see what we want to know what it's about. That's really what we're looking at.
I thought you were positive about it.
I am positive about it. I'm excited. Like I'm saying, it's on my anticipated list, and I'm just curious where the game is. Like, is it just going to be me wanting to play with people like on my friends list, or is it going to be actually something I can do solo and like, hey, have fun solo? I don't think that's what it's going to be.
That's going to be interesting. I don't think
because like Destiny, I could play by myself and be like fine with, but I don't see this game being something like that. But I do actually plan on getting it.
Okay. All right. Detroit. Any interest in Detroit?
I had that written down. I think it looks interesting. I like the idea of what it's going for, and after seeing like 2049, I'm like, oh, this is kind of like more
tie-in, sort of. All right. Anything else?
There is Octopath Traveler.
Oh yeah.
Is that going to make it out? I think
so.
I think so.
I mean, usually they've been pretty good with that.
Yeah, I think that kind of a style will be okay to get done quicker.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the demo was really good, so I think. I'm excited for more stuff like that with the Switch too. I think that it could do.
Does it get renamed?
I think it does.
Yeah.
That has.
Although it does make sense though, but it's called
maybe it's
Project.
the subtitle. Maybe it's like the subtitle where it's like
Octopath. Fantasy Octopath.
Path Traveler or something like that.
Final Fantasy.
But the Octopath makes sense though, Jim.
Yeah.
If you played it.
Oh, okay. Okay. The 8 branching something. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
It's like 8 playable characters.
Do we have any other anticipated? My most anticipated is going to be Red Dead Redemption.
My most anticipated Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Yeah,
Mike's is Spider-Man as well, and Tony, yours is Spider-Man.
Yeah, as of right now. Next week,
Could change.
Probably out the window.
Nintendo's got a direct, so we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. I do not expect Metroid. Sorry, I just don't. You know me.
You don't expect Metroid this year, or you don't expect them to show off Metroid?
I don't expect them to show Metroid next week.
What about Bayonetta for you, Tony? Does that shoot up there if it's?
Oh yeah, if it's 3, yeah, absolutely, 100%, because that is like the epitome of the action / genre. Like, just playing. Like that's the thing is like I love Nier a lot, like Automata, but in the gameplay, just like the action department, I was like, I really just wish I was playing Bayonetta right now because like I could just do these sick ass combos, like use like all these different weapons with intricate like developments and just whatnot. And I'm just like, it's repeating the same combo here, back and forth. But the story was good enough, and the music was good enough for me to still truck on and stuff like that. It'll be interesting to see what lessons they learn from Nier and if they can apply those to Bayonetta, because there are a lot of things that I think the Bayonetta could take from Nier with like storyline aspects, and I could see even like multiple endings for Bayonetta being kind of like a cool way to like replay certain segments of the game and whatnot. So we'll see.
All right. Like I said, Mike's with Spider-Man. I think we're good, right?
Is there a big Sega game this year? No.
Is there
Yakuza?
Is there ever a big Sega game?
Yeah, I guess not. At least, last year we had Sonic Mania. That was really big.
Yeah.
And Yakuza Zero was
Zero came
like
out,
that. And the Yakuza franchise, people seem to love that franchise.
It never hooked me. It just didn't. I missed me. So.
I don't think Square has anything else this year.
Not that we know of yet. I mean, it's not that we can. It's just that we know of. So.
Yeah.
So. All right. It'll be interesting to look back and see. That's going to wrap up the Gamecast 376. Thanks for tuning in. Tune in next week. It's our of the year edition. We'll have the best or worst of the year. I can already give you a hint about my worst. It's a game that's on hiatus for the foreseeable future, or ever, depending on whose bet you're taking on this one. But we'll get into that next week. Thanks for tuning in. Write us podcast at allyoucangeek.net. Follow us on Twitter, All You Can Geek. Like us on Facebook, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. See ya.